I appreciate that. That's a job well done. Just wanted to welcome everyone to this 26th annual Scholar Athlete Banquet. And Joe Malmazer's not with us here today, but it's just incredible that this is the 26th year. My duties here are small because Elaine knows my limitations, so she keeps my responsibilities really tight. I'd like to thank Dr. Ikram Khawaja and the Board of Trustees for being here tonight. Really want to thank the parents and the student athletes. Every year this room, we try to squeeze more and more people into it. I think that says a lot about the work and dedication our student athletes have towards graduation. And there's an awful lot of parents in this room that have committed a lot of time and effort in their life just making sure that their young people's priorities are in order, and clearly they've done a great job. I want to thank all the endowed scholarship recipients and obviously the donors for their commitment to our student athletes' success. I wanted to thank Alfreda. Frida's traveling the country. She doesn't get to spend much time at home. I got to spend 3 days down in sunny Florida with her before we got to fly back to this beautiful weather. So it's definitely appreciation, and I look forward to the summer. And I know that these individuals are going to be thanked an awful lot of times here tonight, but I wanted to thank Marty Hayden and Marilyn Abruba, and specifically. They do a job of 4 or 5 people, and if they can please stand and be recognized. Another person that's going to be introduced, but is really a special person to this athletics department in this institution. And her husband's a legend here, and I know she did everything to make him that. And Connie Roselli, if Connie can please stand and be recognized. My introductions, first I want to introduce, we have an Intercollegiate Athletics Council that meets twice a year, and it really serves as an advisory capacity to our president. And there's a lot of commitment and time for these individuals, and they take their job seriously. And if I can announce their names, and if they can please stand to be recognized. Jack Fahey's our chair, Vice President of Student Affairs. Chet Cooper, our faculty athletic rep, I know is here. And Ken Brer. So if you please give them a round of applause. Some coaches in attendance, again, if they can please stand, and then if we can wait till they're all announced and recognize them. Coach Hardaway, our volleyball coach. Coach Wolford, our football coach. Matt Anderson, our swim coach. Coach Barnes, women's basketball. Brian Campbell, who's getting in the nitty-gritty of their schedule here as we get down to the end. Coach Gillespie, baseball. Brian Gorby, track and field. Obviously, we've got high hopes for that program, and part of the reason Alfreda's up in this area of the country is that we get a chance next week to host a track championship just right over there across the street. Tony Joy, men's golf. Nate Miklos, our women's golf coach. Both finished 3rd down in the Horizon League Championships this past weekend. And for those that had a chance to be up at our reception a little bit earlier, it was an exciting time as our women's tennis team got a chance to find out where they are heading in the NCAA tournament. There's only 64 Division I teams playing right now, and our women's program's one of those. And our men's tennis team actually had one of the best finishes ever also. And if Mikhail Sopel could please stand and be recognized. So with that, there's a lot of people in here that commit a lot of time and effort to our student athletes, and we're so grateful, and I'm sure as you spend time with them, you can be very proud of the men and women that they are. So appreciate it and enjoy the night. Thanks.
And I just want to reiterate what he said. Congratulations to the women's tennis team, a big accomplishment. First time in school history, and also to the men's. And I thought it was fitting to share this quote. Success is a journey, not a destination. The doing is often more important than the outcome. And that's by Arthur Ashe. And that just doesn't apply to the tennis teams, but all teams as well. So, next person I want to introduce is a former student athlete and YSU graduate, Paul McFadden. Was appointed president of the YSU Foundation in 2011. The foundation pursues, manages, and distributes resources to support scholarships and student initiatives, as well as the growth and development of Youngstown State University. Mr. McFadden is a former place kicker in the National Football League, where he became widely known for his barefooted kicking style. And after ending his career as a professional football player, McFadden returned to Youngstown, where he served as Director of Athletic Development from 1993 to 2000, and Chief Development Officer from 2002 to 2011. So we warmly welcome to the podium one of our own success stories, Mr. Paul McFadden.
Thank you, Torian. It is a great privilege this evening to introduce two special groups that assist our student athletes. The first group is our Penguin Club Board of Trustees, volunteers who give up their time on behalf of our student athletes throughout the year. I'd like to introduce them. I'd like them to stand and remain standing until all names are called. Please hold your applause until the entire board has been introduced. The second Vice President, Tom Hura. Immediate past President, Gunther Laddick. Executive Director, Ron Strollo. Associate Director, Jim Morrison. And trustees, David Dybel, Frank Frateroli, Daryl Morrison, Dr. Michael Millador, Mr. Robert O'Leary, Mr. Angelo Pizzulo, Mr. Reed Schmutz, and Mr. Paul Williams. Please join me in acknowledging the Penguin Club Board of Trustees. Our second group is a very, very special group to us. They are our endowed scholarship donors, and we introduce them with their student recipients. To our students, you carried a special honor this year, a family that sponsored you. You'll carry that name throughout your life. But to our endowed scholarship donors, please know how profoundly grateful we are to you. The names we call off this evening of our endowed scholarship donors will be calling off for generations here. In 100 years, these names will still be called on our campus, as these endowments will still support our students. We have 3 new scholarships I'd like to announce first this year. Unable to join us, but Joe Melmisser, founding the East High Golden Bear Alumni Scholarship. The Feld Family Scholarship, represented by Kathy Lynn and Phil Feld. Please stand. And the Melanie and Maggie Cisnowski Memorial Scholarship, represented by Monica Hughes. Please join me in thanking these families for their new scholarships. As I call off these endowed scholarships, we would like our endowed scholarship sponsor to stand and their student recipient to stand. Please remain standing until all endowments have been recognized. The Andrews Trust Endowment, represented by Mr. Paul Williams. The Robert Camardo Senior Scholarship, represented by Marianne Camardo, student recipient Sean Amaker. The Curbstone Coaches Scholarship, represented by Mr. Joe Maxim, student recipient Fred Herdman. The Dr. Irma D'Antonio Scholarship, represented by Sandra D'Antonio, student recipient Stephen Page. The Jean D'Antonio Scholarship, represented by Mr. Robert Camardo Jr., student recipient Allison Mitzel. Special thanks to the Camardo and D'Antonio families sponsoring 3 endowed scholarships. The Irvin Dodge Scholarship, represented by Mrs. Louise Dodge, student recipient Brandon Pluchinski. The Bob Dove Scholarship, represented by Bonnie Dewberry and Nancy Dove. Student recipient, Connor McFadden. The Dover Club Scholarship, represented by Marianne O'Toole. Student recipient, Monica Tuvel. The Dennis and Jan Haynes Scholarship, represented by Mr. and Mrs. Haynes. Student recipient, Terry Johnson. The Deborah Hinkle Scholarship, represented by Mr. Dave Hinkle. Student recipient, Steve Zaborski. The Tony Joy Senior Scholarship, represented by Tony Joy Jr. Student recipient, Trevor Jones. The George and Helen Kohut Memorial Scholarship, represented by Marlene Ogle. Student recipient, David Saluga. The Kozar Family Scholarship, represented by Mr. and Mrs. Bernie Kozar. Student recipient, Kurt Hess. The McAtee Family Scholarship, represented Mr. Ray McAtee. Student recipient, Teresa Stevens. The Jack and Mary K. McFadden Scholarship, represented William McFadden. Student recipient, Heidi Schlegel. The McKenna Family Scholarship, Representative Thomas McKenna. Student recipient, Casey DeAmbrose. The Dr. Michael B. and, the Doctors Diane B. and Michael J. Melidor Scholarship, represented by Dr. Mike and Diane. Student recipient.
Preferred to talk. So, leading into that, would you please join me in welcoming Altika Van Wright to the stage to present our Female Athlete of the Year award.
Good evening. It is time to hear about a great, self-driven, inspirational, and strong young woman named Sierra Jarrett. I'm nervous, y'all, bear with me. Sierra Jarrett has achieved many accomplishments here at YSU. Sierra Jarrett is the 10-time Horizon League champion. She is a 7-time 200-meter champion record holder for indoor and outdoor. She holds the school records in the 4x1 and 4x4 relays. Sierra Jarrett was born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin with her loving and supportive brother and parents, and her mother and brother is here today. One unique memory I know we all won't forget was the time Coach Townsend and Coach Gorby were on a recruiting trip to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for Sierra Jarrett, and they got a $419 speeding ticket. Sierra wasn't even on the team yet and already causing trouble. Sierra has been a great friend on and off the track. She is very encouraging. She gives advice and allows people to learn life struggles through her own. Even on the track, I would always go straight to Sierra and ask her, "So, C, how was my form? How was my race?" She was my mini coach. Sorry, Coach T, no offense to you. It's all love. Regardless of the struggles and transitions she faced in her life, she never gave up on herself nor her dreams. She has fought for everything that she gained and has become a great role model and mentor for young athletes in the surrounding area. It took Sierra a while to get the hang of being a college athlete, but when she did, she was the very best at it. The first time Sierra and I met was like we instantly became friends. You could not tear us apart, literally. People started to think we were sisters. Sierra has always been a loving friend. She would believe in me when I couldn't find strength to believe in myself, and for that, I will always cherish her. She is a very strong-willed individual, but believe me, she will get her point across whether you like it or not. I would imitate her voice, but I'll wait till after the banquet. I would have never thought of the day that I would be asked to honor Sierra. I really don't feel worthy. The memories and crazy moments we have shared will never be forgotten. I'm excited for what God has already done and where He is taking her. It is my honor and my privilege to present to you my ace boon, my ride or die, my sister, my best friend, Sierra Jarrett.
Good evening. I'm sorry, I'm very nervous, and I'm trying not to cry. Me and Nina have a bet that I won't cry, and she believes I'm gonna cry, but I think I might shed a couple tears. I'm really honored to be here because it's been a long journey, and I really didn't think I was gonna make it. I wasn't supposed to be here, and if it wasn't for my coaches, if it wasn't for my parents, if it wasn't for Marilyn and Emily, like really investing their time into me, I wouldn't be here. I'm sorry. But I'm really honored and privileged to be in this position and acknowledged with this award, because there's so many great student athletes out there. Sam Hamilton, she's one of the coldest distance runners I've ever seen, just running so many long distance races, and also just being a student and having great grades as well. Casey Crozier, I said your last name right? She's really good on and off the field, and just her spirit, when I see her in, when I see her in the athletic training room, she just her aura is just loving, and she's just happy to be here, and she just wants to accomplish everything she can. And Caroline Jesko, she's such an amazing leader. Like, I look up to you, you don't even know it. The way she leads, the way she's national sack rep, she handles sack, she handles her athletics, and she handles her grades. It's just an honor to see. My accomplishments are just because of everybody that really planted seeds and gave me wisdom. Just like Miss Alfredo, I want to say your last name, sorry, Golf. Like she said, it takes a village to raise an individual, to raise a child, and that's truly what happened here on my journey and back at home.